Hello guys, Jerry speaking. Welcome to LJPCBM Reacts, episode number 636, and today I'm reacting to Purple Rose Podcast, episode 70. Michaela Dietz, who portrayed Riff, Barney and Friends, and I can't pronounce her name. In Steven Universe. React to this beginning in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm Carrie Stinson, and my journey through life has been quite an adventure. For over 20 years, I played Barney the Dinosaur on tour, and 7 seasons of the hugely popular TV show, Barney and Friends. Now my journey is to bring together friends and guests from all over the entertainment world for inspiring and at times amusing behind-the-scenes conversation. I'm Carrie Stinson, and this is Purple Roads.
Welcome to Purple Roads. My name is Carrie Stinson, and I'm so glad you're here. We're going to have a lot of fun this week. This is a good friend that I'm so glad to have on this show.
Yep.
She is so busy, but we got her here for a little bit, so we're going to get right to it. It's Michaela Dietz. Michaela, how are you?
Michaela Dietz, okay.
Oh, man, it's been forever.
Wow.
I know. Isn't it funny how technology can bring us together?
Yeah. What's actually, technology, I feel like, it can tear people apart and it can bring people together. And I'm glad that, we're bonding over the ladder right now.
So how you been?
Yeah, dude, I've been good. I gotta tell you, I live in LA and I saw a Barney themed towel in the window of a vintage or like consignment shop, whatever. And I was like, oh, should I get that as a joke and give it to someone? And then I went back and they didn't have it anymore.
Wow.
So, and I didn't buy it, which I was pretty bummed about.
Yeah.
And so whoever bought that towel.
Michaela's looking for you.
Dude.
Yeah, I'm like, you can take my towel. I have a few towels you can take inside. Anyway, I'm sure I could just go online and get some cool Barney merch. Do you have a ton of like cool Barney merch?
I do. I have some behind me, and then I got all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
I got all kinds of stuff that I've been going through.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. I think I got a.
Like, do you have like weird like a weird like Barney tank top or like?
No,
Wow.
no, I don't have a tank top. I got little sweatshirts and things like that though.
Yeah.
The old stuff. I think I got a Barney backpack. I think I got one of those.
Barney backpack?
And I got a jean jacket.
really
I got a
want-
Barney jean jacket.
Ooh.
Wow.
Okay, jean jacket, that's like a different thing. I feel like that's a
Yeah.
different class. That's not merch, that's just like swag. That's
Wow.
It was swag.
stuff.
It was swag. It was swag. It
I
was
never
swag.
got any Barney swag. I feel like I came in at the wrong time. I feel like you guys were like getting treated like royalty. And then they like introduced Riff and they were like, here's a
Wow.
snack pack. Here's some Lunchables.
Well, I
Wow.
was there at different times. I started in '91, so before
Wow.
all of that goes.
Yeah.
All that craziness.
Wow.
So let's talk.
91?
91.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 91. Wait, well, I got limited time with you, so I want to take advantage of it because I got so many questions for you.
You want
No,
to talk about nothing this whole time?
no, I love talking about that. That's why I started this, is because I love those conversations, and I miss those conversations.
Mm-hmm.
So, how did you get into the business? Plain and simple, how'd you jump in?
Mm-hmm.
To like just like entertainment?
Yeah, entertainment.
So gosh, I feel really lucky. I always knew that I wanted to pursue acting, but I did not actively pursue it in college. I studied econ. It's weird. Anyway, but then after school, I moved to New York, and I was like, yes, I'm gonna act. I'm gonna like study acting. This is gonna be great.
Mm-hmm.
And I lucked out. My agent sent me out on an audition for this untitled project called Dinosaurs.
Wow.
And I remember going in And like I'd never done a real voiceover audition before. Like I was trying to, do more on-screen stuff and comedy. And I remember like rapping happy birthday and feeling real lame doing it, but like they're like, "Hey, this character is edgy and like urban," and so I'm like, okay. And then I ended up booking it, and when I went to Dallas to meet with the team, they're like, "This is Barney," and I was like, "Oh, it's not dinosaurs." Like I had no idea, no idea.
So what was it like when you get there and they tell you about this new character?
Yeah, I mean, they were really excited. My memories of Barney were of me flipping through the TV and being a little too old for it.
Sure.
And feeling like I should not be watching this, but then like seeing the kids act, I was like, oh wait, I gotta stay on this channel a little bit longer. My brother would come in the room like, what are you watching? I'm like, no, nothing. I'm just Barney the purple dinosaur,
Yeah.
I also had a name Blarney, like the Irish stone, and people would be like, what's his name, Barney? And my mom would always get like so annoyed. She's like, no, it's not like that dinosaur. And then as soon as I booked this job, she was like, okay, we'll let it slide. Like, she was excited. Her daughter had a job. She was pumped. So yeah, I mean, that was not only was it my first real job out of college, it was my first real paying acting gig, it was the first time I ever had like real consistent work. So I feel very lucky. And then I thought, oh, this is just how it is. You just get on a show and
Right.
on it for, a few seasons. That's great. And then I moved to LA and it was just like dry spell. Just for so long until Steven Universe hit. But I think that period made me feel like the true, I mean, we all know that, this too, entertainment, it's so up and down, and it just made me really, really appreciate those Barney years, and then the Steven years, and so any opportunity now that comes my way, I'm just like, oh, it doesn't matter if it lasts a day or hopefully 5 years, whatever it is. Like I'm just gonna really kind of appreciate it.
But it makes you stronger, though, right? I mean, it really, as you say, appreciate, but it also makes you, don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, people
I know
say
it's
that.
tough.
I think it just kind of
tough.
beats you down a little bit, quite honestly. When you're like hearing no all the time, or it's just like radio silence, you're like, like I know, I mean, in my head I can say, oh yeah, this is really character building, but in my heart I'm like, oh my god, can someone just want me right now? Like, can I just be right for a role? Like, please. So yeah, but certainly, definitely character building. Yeah.
Oh, I know. Look, we can't be in this business and not heard the word no and not gotten, now we're saying ghosting, but when they would just not let you know, they just go with someone else. Yeah. Whether you like it or not, I think it builds a stronger character.
Yeah, I actually don't mind the no's, because then I know definitively, like, okay, I'm not who they want, that's fine. It's and more common. I mean, it's like if casting directors had to tell all the people who they reject no, that would be like the majority of their job. Like, nobody wants that. So yeah, just hearing like nothing is
right.
Yeah.
You learn to kind of just like, okay, you just forget about it, and if anything happens, it happens, and you just gotta live your life, I guess. So.
So what's it like? You go to Dallas, and they tell you that this is a new character. They tell you that you're voicing to a body actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's on a show, obviously you knew, so everyone else, Dean and all of them, Julie and Patty, had been there for a long time. It seems like a lot of pressure to walk into a situation like that.
Oh yeah, and like I had no idea what I was doing. Like I had not done voiceovers before, I mean, I'd acted, but I was like, I don't know. I guess it's weird because I had seen the show, on TV when I was too old to be watching it, and I guess it never registered that it's like, oh, it's not animated, or like the person, you know what I mean? Like the dinosaurs who are like physicalizing everything are not the same people who are like vocalizing. So, I mean, that was like, oh wow, okay, this is how it works. And so, I mean, that definitely, there was a learning curve there, and I very quickly learned, you know, with the under the guidance of Julie and Patty and Dean, that like, oh, you just laugh. Just laugh if they're running and their mouths are flapping open. Like you just can cover your tracks that way. So, um, oh gosh, my poor character. I feel like he was just always like chattering his mouth, because I feel like the springs were like extra loose. But
And where did the voice come from? Where did the voice come of Riff?
I remember they were like, oh, it's a little boy dinosaur when I first auditioned, and I don't know why I went there. I feel like it was like a kind of a bobcat voice. I don't know. I don't know where it came from, and I'm sort of like, why did I do that to myself? I should have just stayed somewhere like in a normal register. But I mean, he was certainly memorable. I mean, you know, and it at least contrasted nicely with the other voices. Really, my foundation for voiceovers was all developed, you know, just by watching Julie and Patty and Dean work. Like that's really how I learned. And the sort of teamwork element. You know, not only are you working with your body, but you're working against like these other characters. It's just really, it was great. I will say, when I first showed up to Dallas, and this was just to meet with everyone for like a night or whatever, and they wanted to show me everything. This is like before I actually, you know, I had to live there for a bit. I remember like this guy picked me up in a white limo from the airport. Man. It was so weird. I was like, what? Are we in the 80s? What's happening? And then,
oh God,
like, we get there, and they were like, I don't know, the producers were like, there are certain words that we don't say, like on set, like certain things that we do, we don't. Like, there are all these rules, but everybody was so gracious, so nice, and I just remember, like, just feeling really, like, foreign. Like, oh, okay, Texas is so different. I don't know, I just, like, where am I?
Well, it is, and then you're walking onto a show that had been going for 20 years as well. Don't you think that was the fact that everything was so set in what they were doing? They were doing.
Yeah, it was set. It was set, but there's, you know, the juxtaposition there was, everyone's very set in their ways, but when I came on, they were like, listen, I think this is the chance for Barney to kind of like get edgy and like attract a new audience, and, you know, like speak to new parents who are maybe a little more hip or whatever it is. And so I feel like there was kind of this, I mean, I don't want to sound like there was real tension, but it just felt like, oh, they're very stuck. Everyone's very stuck in their ways, but at the same time, they're like, no, be different. And so he came on the scene. Riff was supposed to be this like really cool, fun, like rad character who's just like a ton of fun and loves music and all this stuff. And then he like very soon became this very watered down version of a shy boy who like his head lit up. It just was like this very different. It was a very unexpected kind of like evolution of the character. But you know, I welcomed it. Like, I like shy guys. A pleasure to voice a shy guy. You know.
Hey, let's talk real quick about, because you mentioned the voice. Was that difficult to maintain? Being that having to do that.
Yeah, I mean, and this is before I really knew how to voice act. I didn't. I mean, there are a lot of takes, and there are full runs. It's very different. You know, the recording process for Barney was very different from like animation, and I also had like health problems at the time, so it was really hard on me. And you know, I've learned a ton since, and I now am able to last. You know, I have some vocal endurance, but at the time, I really, it was And that voice, you know, it's just like,
right.
Yes.
It's so annoying. Slash, I love him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's bringing really good memories. It just makes me smile hearing it again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I tell you, Carrie, I don't remember a lot. I don't remember a lot from my time in Dallas. It was such a blur.
Yeah.
Well, how long were you there?
Just such a blur.
A couple years?
So I was there on and off. Yeah, I was there on and off for like, I don't know, 3-4 years.
Right.
But I wouldn't live there the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was nice to go back home. My parents are in upstate New York, and my sister and brother. So it was nice to like see family there, and all my friends are on the East Coast. And then I eventually moved to LA, so I'd split time between Dallas and LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was recently talking to Dean, and he's like, Michaela, remember that time? I'm like, no, I really. He's like, remember you pretended that you were getting beat up by an invisible man, and you were like punching yourself, kind of, and like we were on set at some film, like we were filming some video. He's like, remember that? And you were so funny, and you were like strangling yourself on the floor. I'm like, I don't really blur.
Man.
Just one big like purple blur.
purple blur.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, let's talk real quickly. While I got you, Steven Universe, because I know that's a show that had a very strong following. Mm-hmm. What was that like? All of a sudden, you go to this new world.
Yeah, that was what a really again, like Barney, I just feel so fortunate to have been a part of that show. It's funny how the color purple has sort of just like blessed me throughout my career.
Yeah.
So yeah, I voiced a character named Amethyst. What was amazing about Steven Universe was it was my first real like consistent job doing animation. So that was so incredible. There's so much. I mean, before you were talking a little bit about, syncing up like dialogue to like Adam in his suit, running with Riff, like, there's a lot of coordination involved, and so with animation, there's a certain amount of freedom that you have.
Wow.
And so, yeah, it just was so fun and kind of almost like liberating, to just be like, you could just do anything.
Yeah.
Not anything.
No, but I know what you mean. No, I know what you mean.
Yeah. The following, the Steven Universe following, was and still remains just so passionate about Steven Universe and the whole universe, and what was interesting there is I saw a lot of kids with their families, like, they would watch it with their parents or their aunts and their uncles, and everybody would bond over it, or like, their older sibling was at college, but they would get together so they could watch it, and it sort of was this show that spoke to kind of all age groups, whereas like Barney was very focused to like that 2-year-old crowd.
Right.
And it just like hit so strong with like 2-year-olds were like,
Yeah.
And parents were like, yeah, my kid loves Barney. Like, we love Barney, but they're not like sitting down and watching like, every episode with their kids. I don't know, maybe they are, but what was pretty cool for me is Steven Universe like brought me so much visibility, and so I was able to travel a lot and go to different conventions and meet a ton of Steven Universe fans. And what was really neat was to see the marriage of that fandom that I just explained, like different age groups bonding over the show, but also a lot of Barney and Riff fans. I would meet so many
Exactly.
And what was cool is like, yeah, they watched it when they were 2, when they were 3, and now they're adults and they're coming and they're like, dude, I still love Riff. And I'm like, good for you, man. Like, that's amazing.
Still.
It's just, yeah. Sorry, we were talking about Steven, and then I just like.
No, but it's all connected, and I love that. Yeah.
So, and then a really cool thing for me was, I feel like, working on Barney, the producers and the writers really pushed for these very like kind of strong, like moral kind of stories, right? And like good manners and behavior, and it was like a real big push for all those things.
Yeah.
And what was neat is, and Steven Universe, I feel like Rebecca Sugar, the creator, she really pushed for visibility and representation of sort of marginalized groups, even, you know, with like portraying different body images. I mean, it's just,
still,
it goes to show that I think some of the most successful properties, there's a person or a team behind them that's like really fighting to get a certain message out. And so in very different ways, I feel like both Steven and Barney did that.
I agree.
I think they both did. And I think you see that, like you just mentioned, with all the fan base that you have and how you've affected them. While I have a couple minutes left with you, what are you currently doing?
So I'm so excited. I'm working on a bunch of different projects. I can't really talk about them.
That's fine.
But I'm excited. I feel like, you know, I might be coming back around to not quite Riff Shy Guy energy, but you know, maybe something kind of adjacent to that. I did. I don't know if you watch Adventure Time or if any of your listeners watch.
I seen bits and pieces of Adventure Time. It was on the HBO Max one time, and I'm like freaking out about stuff. But you know, that's just me. Continue on.
Adventure Time, but I was recently in one of the like short films, like special. As Glass Boy, and I recorded 101 Dalmatians for Disney, which...
Whoa! Whoa! Okay, that makes sense. Continue on.
In the UK, and now it's starting to air in the States. And
yeah, on Disney Plus, that is. Continue on.
I play a kind of tween Dalmatian, Dolly Dalmatian, and my brother Dylan and we're both American, but we live in London, and we have a brood of younger siblings, and so we're always like babysitting them and getting into some good old fashioned trouble. So
I love it. Well, I know you got to go. I'm so excited. We'll just have to bring you back. We'll have to bring you back for more time, but it is so good to see you, Michaela.
Thank you so much for having me on. I honestly, I don't, you know, besides like I don't think about Barney that often, but it's so nice that it's like this kind of, like undying, like cultural staple. I feel like, you know, seeing that towel in the window, and then you see little references to it, or I don't know, even just when I see like green and purple next to each other, I'm like, I get like weird like flashbacks, which is so beautiful. So yeah, it was really, oh man, it's so nice to catch up and see you, and it's cool that you're walking down memory lane.
It's been so much fun, and so many of the fans that watch and listen to this have been asking for you, so they're going to be so excited to see what's going on with you.
Yay! Yay! Well, they can always find me on Instagram and Twitter at WhammyBa. By the way,
I have never heard of Mbamiwa. Continue on.
And we'll push all that out there too.
By the way, one of the Dino Wranglers lives out here. Remember Aisha?
Yeah, of course. Aisha? Of course.
Her brother Glenton lives in LA, and
oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. I saw him when he first moved out, and then it had been like years and years and years, and then I saw him again like. I'm so bad at keeping in touch with people, but yeah, I saw him maybe like over 5 years ago, and he's writing, and I mean he's really impressive. Great
Love
guy.
that.
Yeah.
But, love that.
You know, any sort of purple connection is a
yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you, Carrie. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for watching Purple Roads. And remember to keep your eyes, ears, and your heart open, and you'll find your Purple Road. We'll see you next week.
So that was episode 70 of Purple Roads Podcast, episode 70. Michaela, Dietz, Steven Universe, Barney Friends. What did I think about this episode? It was amazing. So far, this episode went to be a success. Anyways, guys, double episode of LJPCBM at episode number 636, excuse me. Hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned for the next one. It's going to be the WEML TV channel 77. First 5 videos going to be the very first next 5 episodes of LJPCBM. Be looking out for those. And then afterwards, it's going to be a remix from television replay on Money Cards. If you watch this remix, for you and Eric Lima. So yeah, just want to let you guys both know. Till next time, so Joe's goodbye, peace out, baby. We get more guys very soon. Till then, Joe said out. See ya.
Given unto me this life I'll never take for granted, and given all the time I failed to really understand it, I never sought to meet the maker of reality, the one who gave the life that which is always happening, but I tried time. I ask, why me? Why was I the one to see things as I do under the moonlight and the sun? Perception is the question, and the giver holds the key.